Hello. So glad you're here with me today. My name is Wendy Lee, and I'm an independent Stampin' Up! Demonstrator in the US. And happy Tuesday. Are you ready for a little bit of paper crafting? All right, I've got a fun card for you today. This is actually recorded versus coming to you live because I'm on vacation this week, and I am playing with my brand new grandbaby, little Miss Bonnie. But I don't want you to miss any paper crafting fun. So I've got a great card for you today. I think it's great anyway, and I hope you enjoy it. So this is an acetate card that we are going to be creating. So when you open it up, you've got your layers on the inside, but I'm going to show you some tricks about using acetate as a card base and adding those layers and doing a little bit of fun with our floral sentiment as well. This would be a great card to use for Mother's Day or for a friend, lots of good stuff. And we are featuring the Hydrangea Haven stamp set. I'm also using the coordinating dies, and I'm bringing in some other dies as well. And I will tell you about that as we go. And why am I featuring the Hydrangea Haven stamp set other than it's fabulous, right? I have just recently posted a 5-card class. You might be able to see a peek of the cards behind me if my head's not in the way, right? So I just posted a 5-card class, gorgeous cards, lots of fun. That showcases that gorgeous paper and the stamps and dies in the Hydrangea Haven or Hydrangea Hill, I guess you would say, product suite. And I believe today's date is, I think we are on the end of March, right? Let me check my calendar. Yes, March 30th. So one more day left in March, which means there is one more day that you can earn the Hydrangea Hill product suite all-star tutorial bundle for free. So when you place a $50 order with me, you get that emailed to you. Or you could purchase it separately for $15 if you prefer. So, all right, let's get started. I'm going to switch the camera over and we're going to play a little bit. All right? Perfect. All right. So here is the card again that we are making. I love all the little details in there. And then we've used that acetate for our card base. And then on the inside, we've got our stamped panels and some vellum layers there. Okay, so let's go ahead and get started on this one. I'm gonna slide this out of the way so that I can get started. And of course, do I forget stuff? I always forget something, I think. Let me go get my paper trimmer because we need it to score our card base. And it's way on the other side of the room. Always got to go get that. Perfect. All right, let's start with our acetate card base. So forgive the ring light here. I'm gonna see if I can get this trimmer in here so that it is in the video. I don't know if it really matters, so I'm not measuring much, but first I have my acetate card base. So this is 8.5 by 5.5. I just cut it the 12 by 12 sheet down. And I wanna run this through my my trimmer to score it. You could use a score pal or simply score it as well. So I'm gonna move that cutting blade out of the way. I'm gonna slide this in at the 4 1/4 mark. And I'm gonna go ahead and give that a nice, good score. Perfect. All right. Get this out of our way. And I need to grab my Scotch tape. And it's on the other side of the room as well. Let's see if I can reach it. Yay! All right, Scotch tape. Why Scotch tape? I found that all of our acetates, and I don't know if you know this, they have a clear plastic coating on the back. So it's just to protect the surface from scratches. So I found that if you take a piece of Scotch tape and just give it a little bit of, no, I got to get more in the corner. Give it a good press down so it sticks. And you should be able to, it's not working on that corner. Let's try another corner. Sometimes I struggle a little bit with it. Ah, there we go. So I got it. So see, there's a film over the top of your acetate, and that Scotch tape makes it super easy to just pull that right off. So now it's going to be much shinier when you're using that. So all right, so now that we've got our score line, we want to go ahead and fold this in half and give it a nice, good crease. So I'm going to push that with my finger first, and then I'm going to take my bone folder and run it along that edge and give that a good crease. All right, so there's my card base. start on the inside first. And so I'm kind of push that back out so that I can work on the inside of my card first. So I've got 2 pieces of basic white cardstock that I've already die cut with my stitched rectangle die. So this is the 4th smallest that I've die cut 2 pieces that are identical. And we're going to bring in our stamps. So again, we're using the Hydrangea Haven stamp set. And so I'm using some sentiments out of this because I think there's some great ones to send a card to, you know, maybe a friend, or great for Mother's Day, of course, right? So I'm bringing in basic gray cardstock, ink pad, and I'm going to ink up To an Incredible Woman. So let's start there. Slide this out of the way, and we're going to just stamp the image To an Incredible Woman. Now, I probably should have my foam pad underneath, but let's see what happens. Oh, it turned out good. No worries. Didn't even need the foam pad. Yay! All right, so the second one, we're going to go ahead and stamp I appreciate all the little things you do. Isn't that great to send to your mom or a friend? Either one, it works great. All right, so let's put away our ink pad for just a moment. We'll pull it back out. And I've got 2 pieces of vellum. These are 3.5 by 4 3/4. And I'm just going to adhere each of these white die cuts to the front of the vellum. Now, did you notice I was having trouble getting my Stampin' Seal to advance? So if I run it on my silicone craft sheet, it fixes it for me. Is that not great? I learned that recently, and it has been a lifesaver. All right, great. And then we'll go ahead and adhere this one down to the other vellum piece. I just thought it would be easier to do the inside first. Then we can focus on all the fun bling on the front and layers. All right, so I want to go ahead and adhere these right into the inside of my card base. So as you guys know, if you don't want to put adhesive so that it will show through the vellum, so you only want to place your adhesive where you've got that white cardstock layer. So that does mean that it's not going to be adhered. The vellum piece is not going to be adhered down in the corners, right, at the inside. So I'm just going to center this. Okay, so this is going to be loose. That's okay. And let's do the other side as well. And you'll see in a moment why I'm covering the inside as well. I'm going to show you on the back. So you could add another layer if you want to the back. I didn't think it needed it. So, all right. So if I go to the back of my card, you can see it. You're going to be able to see that cardstock through that layer. So I can actually see what I think is cool, the other color side of the acetate, right? So a little bit of that Rococo Rose shining through, and then I can see the white. Now I've chosen the one that's pretty covered, so you don't see the adhesive too badly. So I'm okay with that. I think it looks just fine. So I'm not going to worry about it. And then on the front, we're going to cover this. So I'm going to run my bone folder one more time along this edge because I want to try to get a good crease. And got that down. Perfect. All right, so next, let's work on our layers. So let's slide that back out of the way. I've got a piece of basic white cardstock that I die cut with the largest circle in the stitch shaped dies. We'll pull that one in. And I am going to go ahead and just place that right on my silicone craft sheet. So I'm going to use that. And then I have gotten a piece of the designer paper that I've cut 3.5 by 4 3/4. So it's the same size as the vellum layers I'm putting on the inside. So I'm going to go ahead and pop this up on here with dimensionals. So let's grab some dimensionals. And we will slide those on. Perfect. And I'm going to somewhat center it left to right. And I'm going to bring it down from the top just a bit more. So I'm not centered on all 3 sides, trying to do it centered here and then just a little bit further down on the top. I don't know, it's just my mood. That's what I'm going with. Next, I have a scrap piece of mint macaron cardstock, and I'm using these Dandy Wishes dies. So instead of using the hydrangea dies on this one, I decided to change it up a little bit and use this piece right here to create my flower base. Now I put adhesive sheet on the back of my cardstock before I did my die cutting. That way I can just peel this right off and adhere it. So let's see how that's going to work for us. There we go. Not going to be too bad to pull out of there, I don't think. Well, yeah, maybe I'll get it. Yeah, it's wanting to separate, which is perfect because I don't want it on that backing paper anyway. So this is where that silicone craft sheet's going to come in handy for you. So I'm going to put the head of that down where I want it, right? And then let my stem kind of come off to the side. And then I can just clip it off. I can have it go all the way to the bottom, or I can clip it a little bit shorter. I'm going to clip it a little bit shorter. It's a little longer, I think, than I have on the original one, but I think that's all right. And I'm just going to give that a good push to make sure that's down in place. Great. So that's why I brought in that silicone craft sheet. Next thing I want to do, let's get rid of that trash. All right. The next thing I did is I am going to bring in a bunch of die cut flowers. So in the hydrangea dies, this set here, you've got this strip of flowers. It cuts 9 all at once. So these are not too bad to die cut, but I cut a strip of, let's see, I've got Blushing Bride, some Petal Pink. Let's see if I can get these separated a little bit. Doesn't really matter. I've got some cut from the designer paper, so it's the same print as this that I cut. Got a few of those. And then I've got some scraps of Rococo Rose. And it's funny because I did use scraps. So I realized the back side of the Rococo Rose has some stamping images on them. So kind of funny, but that's all right. We're going to use the other side of it, so it won't matter. My separation is not working. There we go. So I've got these 4 different ones, and I want to lay them down right on here. So I found it was easiest for me to just go ahead and add some liquid glue dots randomly and start here. All right, and I might have a little bit of blobbed there, but I'm going to start by laying down some of the Petal Pink and Blushing Bride flower petals. Just kind of lay these out. This is going to give you some coverage in the background when you start adding the other flowers on. I tried to, first time I did it, I tried to kind of give them a little bit of 3D to them, but it got a little too crazy with it. So I found that this was actually a little bit better. Oh, put a Rococo Rose one in there. That's all right. Doesn't hurt a thing. Looks like I don't have that one in any adhesive at all. Let's see if I can slide that over. And I think I'm going to maybe I'll put a Rococo Rose one under there as well. Let me kind of put a little dab of glue right there and lay one of those down. Whoops. So the negative of the liquid adhesive is that it takes a little bit longer to dry, right? So we kind of have to play with that a little bit. All right, so the next layer I want to do, I want to add some 3D to my flower. So I have taken my take your pick tool, and you could switch this out to be the scoring blade end if you prefer. I'm going to go ahead and just leave this pointed end on, or I could switch to this end. Let's try it, actually. Let's try the putty end and see if this helps us. So what I'm wanting to do is I want to scrunch up one of these flowers, right? And then put some adhesive on the back of it. And then I'm going to use my take your pick tool to kind of help me place that. So, whoops. So I can lay this down, but I really need to put some pressure right in the center to get that to stay. So I'm just going to push down. Oh, I think it's going to stick too much. Yeah, let's use the other end. I used the scoring end when I made the original card. So let's use that. We just need something to push down that glue, but allow the rest of the flower to kind of stick up a little bit. Does that make sense? I hope so. All right, let's keep building. We're just going to work our way across. This takes a little bit of time, but I think it's a super cool technique to do. So I will make sure if you guys got any questions, be sure to leave me a comment and I will answer all of your wonderful questions. Go back and answer those. I will be traveling, but you know, I'll have my phone with me, so I should be able to check out if you guys have questions and answer those. Cute. So again, you have to have a little bit of patience because this is going to take a little bit of time to build this. So it just depends on how filled in you want this flower, right? You could go wild hog crazy and put lots and lots of little petals on here, or you could spread them out a little bit more. It's really up to you. I love it. It's turning out good so far. Do you like it? Just changes it up a little bit from using the hydrangea. Now the hydrangea would be lovely on here and much faster and simpler to do if you wanted to do it that way instead of doing all of this. Because there's a nice solid dye in there that gives you some nice flower petals as well. So I'm not really, there's no rhyme or reason to what I'm doing. I'm just trying to change it up so I have my variation of colors as I work my way across my flower here. So I'm trying to interchange between the Blushing Bride and the Rococo Rose and the Petal Pink and the designer paper that I've got cut out here. I'm going to put one right up here just because, well, maybe I am. Good deal. All right. I'm working through it. It's getting there. And hopefully you guys can see some of that height that I'm getting by crinkling these petals and putting these on. Just kind of filling in some of that space and layering those. It's kind of a fun way to do it. All right. Have you done this before? Or are you learning something new today? Hopefully you're learning something new. Or at least reminded of something that maybe you haven't done in a while, right? That's always good too. Oh, it's coming together nicely. Let's put a few more on here. I don't think it needs many more. Can totally change that shape there. All right, let's put maybe one more. So you guys know, I think you know, the retired list is out now. Trying to decide where I want to put this one. The retired list is out now, and everything's while supplies last. So, or at least the majority of things are. So make sure that if you've got some favorites that you go ahead and get those ordered before they're gone. Things tend to sell out pretty quickly. In colors, the 2019-2021 in colors, you guys know, are retiring. So that means this Rococo Rose color is going away. So sad, isn't it? I think it's a little sad. It's a very pretty color. All right, one more, and then I promise I'll stop. It's kind of relaxing to do this. Just put these little petals on. Let me give that one a good push in the center as well. All right, so again, this is going to take just a few moments for this glue to set. You could use glue dots if you prefer. I just feel like it gets a nice secure attachment if I'm using the liquid adhesive. So you just have to be a little bit patient in letting it dry. Okay, next, I want to go ahead and add some bling to the center of these flowers. So I'm going to pull out my metallic pearls. I've got these in a little bag here. And let's see if I can pull out, I've got several packages in here, but let's see if I can pull out just some silver. There we go. There's some silver ones. And let me switch back to the putty end of my take your pick. And I'm just going to randomly add some pearls to the center of some of these flowers. Now, you do not have to do every single flower petal. You can do as many or as few as you want to. Just kind of spread it out a little bit. Of course, if you want to do every center, that is entirely up to you. That looks fabulous as well. but I just wanted you to know you don't have to do that. One of my favorite things about these pearls is that they are a low profile, which means they're not going to stick up too high. So when I mail this package, when I put this card in the mail, I typically put a folded piece of computer paper. Sometimes I'll put a sheet of cardstock. It depends on how thick things are. But I'm finding that with these, I don't have to add quite as much. Cute, right? Love it. Love it, love it, love it. Just a fun, different way to do it. All right, let's bring in our card base. And we're going to go ahead and adhere this to the card front with some dimensional dots. So let me grab those. Great. If you guys are enjoying these videos, I'd appreciate you leaving me some love, comments, thumbs up, share it with your crafty friends. If you're, this one, obviously everyone's watching a replay, but if you're watching on a replay on YouTube, I'd love for you to subscribe to my channel, help me out there. Oh, that went down a little quicker than I wanted. So let's try that again. So I'm just trying to center it left to right, top to bottom, and it should somewhat cover my vellum on the inside. Great, love it. All righty, let's put a finishing touch. I have got a little piece of basic white that I've die cut with this little cute label from the Hydrangea Dies. And we're going to stamp on that. So let's bring in our basic gray pad again. And I've got the For You. I'm just going to stamp that. And I'm going to stamp it crooked on here intentionally because it's going to hang at an angle. Okay, now I'm pulling in some of the Blushing Bride twine from the Snail Mail combo. Love that twine. It's been on back order so many times, but that's because everybody loves it. So definitely a good one. All right, let me tie this. Yay. Now I want a nice big amount loop here. I'm going to clip that off and then we'll mess with our bow and see if we can get it a little bit nicer. Although it might be fine. I don't know. I kind of like it how it is. I think I'll leave it and see what happens. All right. So I'm going to go ahead and adhere this with a dimensional on the back here. You could do one, you could do two. I just did one. And I'm going to lay this on. So it looks like it's attached right to the stem. And I want it hanging off the bottom. Now, if this twine is not behaving the way you want, you could always hold the knot, pull it, you know, get those loops a little smaller, and then retighten it if you'd like. Sometimes you can make it orient the way you want to, and sometimes it's not going to. It's going to do whatever it wants to do. You could always tuck a glue dot under there if you need to make it behave, right? So I hope you guys love this. I love how you can see the Rococo Rose side of the Mercury acetate through the layer. So that's kind of a fun thing. We've got a lot going on with our focal point and some nice sentiments on the inside. So I hope that you guys enjoy this one and we'll give it a try. And I will have in the video description all the cut dimensions, the supply list, and a link to join my hydrangea card class. I hope you will join me. Again, it's a 5-card class, and I'm pretty excited about the project. So hopefully you'll join me. Thanks so much. Have a wonderful week, and I will see you all again next Tuesday.